Can you guys see this? Those are my sales on Amazon over the last 30 days. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my 2020 goals and how we're going to get to $2 million in revenue for the full year. This video is going to be packed full with tons of strategy tips that you can take and go out there and implement into your Amazon FBA business and replicate my exact same success. Stick around to the end of this video. I can't wait. So since we're just wrapping up 2019, I figured I'd make a video here about my goals going into the next year. Super important to reflect on, what's been working in the business and what can we learn from that and then apply going into the next year. So this year is going to be a breakout year for me. I really feel that we've laid the infrastructure down. We've got a lot of solid foundation that we're able to compound on, really double down on what's working, scrap what's not. And I'm super excited about it. I'd encourage you guys to really think hard and think about what you want. Think about what you're trying to get out of your Amazon e-commerce business. Because the reality is that there's really not much difference between you and I. I just decided to take consistent action over the past 4 years and set myself up for success. Anybody can follow a process, and that is essentially what it takes to be successful on Amazon FBA, is just to follow a process. Now that process I outline step by step within my course, and you can get a link to that in the description below. Before we start jumping into the goals for 2020, I think we need to back up a second here and ask ourselves, what kind of business do we want to run? Because I see two different main kind of strategies or overarching kind of business structures evolving out of the e-commerce space here. And the first one is a solopreneur, and the second one is an entrepreneur. As a solopreneur, you're probably the only person in the business. Maybe you have a couple of VAs that are helping you on the side. Maybe your goal is just to make an extra $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month. And that is completely reasonable and amazing goal. Everybody could use an extra $1,000 or $2,000 in their pocket every single month. And you can completely do that with Amazon, with the Amazon FBA business model as a solopreneur. And that's a great goal to have. If you're somebody like that, this model works great. You can follow the same process I'm following, and you're just going to be running your business a little bit differently. However, your goals are also going to be a little bit different for what you want to get out of, this business opportunity. Or the second way that I'm seeing people run their e-commerce business is by an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur is a little bit different. They have a little bit of a different mindset. They might be building a team. They're more likely to reinvest their profits more aggressively. They're probably reinvesting into new product development more. They're more invested in building a brand off of Amazon. And in some cases, an entrepreneur might be less motivated by so-called net profit and more just focused on hyper growth, business growth, building the team, building new products, building the overall influence that they can have in the world. Now, the great thing about Amazon FBA is that it can cater to both types of entrepreneurs. For me personally, I definitely fall underneath the category of entrepreneur. And I had that realization over this past year. I kind of decided what type of business I wanted to run by thinking about it in those two types of business operational styles. And once I had that kind of major takeaway there, and I know that it sounds obvious, but trust me, you hear so many different pieces of conflicting advice on how you should do this strategy or how you should run your business or how you should be managing different things. So, to internalize all of that, and for me to really, think about it personally and decide, what type of entrepreneur I wanted to be, what type of business I wanted to run, did take some time. And I realized that I wasn't reinvesting enough of the profits into the business to build the type of business that I wanted to grow and scale. And I know that that seems obvious, but there's so much talk about what is the correct level of profit, that you should be achieving in your business. And in actuality, it really comes down to the entrepreneur. You have to decide that level of profitability that you're comfortable with, and then reinvest the remaining profits into expanding your business. And like I said, for me, I wanted to expand my business beyond myself. And I realized that I wasn't investing enough of my profits to make that a reality. So in 2020, the big overarching goal for myself is to reinvest my profits and really double down on what's working. So the first overarching, goal for me in 2020 is going to be building a team. And this is going to be a team that will be able to run the e-commerce business, without me being involved or so hands-on within the business. Now, if you haven't launched a product yet, or you only have one product, your goal is going to be to focus on growth until you can get to a level where you can start to hire people. But once you can, hire a person, even if it's part-time, a VA, to help you do some of the tasks, I'd encourage you to do so. This is going to free up more of your time so you can think about more strategic, things that you need to think about within your business, and delegate some of those, heavy task-oriented items or things that you really shouldn't be doing. Quite frankly, it might be a waste of your time to do at all. So why not hire someone to help you out and do those things while you can free up your time? Now, I have a handful of part-time and full-time employees. And I don't know why, but I was afraid to ask a lot of the contract workers that I work with and or my part-time work to show up to daily meetings or huddles that we have. And over the past 6 months, I now have my entire team on a call with me every single morning at 8:45, and it's been game-changing. Just having everybody check in, even part-time and contract workers, getting everybody on the same page just goes leaps and bounds to progressing growth faster, compounding what's working, sharing the ideas, sharing the information. There's a lot of moving parts in this business. So getting everybody on the page at the same time every day is a huge advantage. And don't be afraid to ask part-time or contract workers to get on that call with you. And that was one of the learnings I took away from 2020, was that I was kind of afraid to ask them. But now everybody's on the call together and I'm not going back. As far as building a team goes, I'm going to continue to specialize people more. So I'm starting to break out roles in my team a little bit more, starting to delegate specific tasks to certain individuals. And as you guys start to hire people, your VAs, I would encourage you to hire for a specific role. Let's just say that you want one person to do customer service, one person to do logistics, one person to do graphic design. Don't go out there and try to find one person to do all of those things. Not only is this going to hedge your risk a little bit, because if you have several people all putting in a few hours a week, all doing separate tasks, if one person leaves, you can easily find someone to replace that specialized skill. You don't need to find one person that can do all of these things. So it's better to have one person specialized and task out those respective tasks. My next goal for 2020 is going to be reinvesting the profits. Now, I already kind of briefly touched on this before, but I want to elaborate just a little bit more. Over the past 2-3 years, I was so focused on net profit, driving up and trying to maintain a very high level of net profit so that I could say that my business was super profitable. The next goal for 2020 is going to be on reinvesting our profits. Now, I already kind of touched on this, but I did want to elaborate on it. We're going to be launching many new products in 2020. We're not only going to be reinvesting the profits into building the team, but we're also going to be reinvesting our profits into launching many more products on Amazon FBA. Now, I know here again it seems obvious to reinvest the profits. However, it's very confusing on just how much of those profits you should be reinvesting into your business. And over the past 2-3 years, I was very focused on having as much net profit as possible and not necessarily reinvesting those profits into R&D and the team. Now, if you're looking to sell your business, you definitely want to show as much net profit as possible, right? You want to make your business as valuable as possible and show as much net profit as possible so that it increases the value when you go to sell it. However, I'm not in a position right now where I want to sell my business. I feel like we're just laying the foundation. We're just getting going. So I want to reinvest that and I want to put it into the team and more R&D. And the last goal or overarching kind of strategy that we're going to be implementing in 2020 is around focus. So I already touched on people or the different team members, how I'm going to have them focused in specific tasks. We're going to continue to do that as we continue to hire more team members. They're going to be specialized and focused in certain areas. I'm also going to be assigning KPIs and targets for each team member so that they know specifically what they need to shoot for to move the overall company forward. And last but not least, I know that I've mentioned that I have 3 brands. 3 private label brands. We're going to be doing a 3-month sprint for one of those brands to really put all of our time and energy and focus into a single one of them to really double down on that single opportunity or that single brand that I think has the most long-term potential. And those are the 3 strategic drivers that are basically going to propel the business forward in 2020 and reach our target of $2 million in annual revenue. I'm super excited for it. I really feel that we've got the infrastructure laid down and now we're just doubling down, working on those processes. You guys got to get out there and do the exact same thing. I hope you guys have taken time to reflect over the past year and think about what you want to accomplish in 2020. Like I said at the beginning of this video, if you haven't launched a product on Amazon yet, this is the year to do it. If you're looking for that step-by-step plan, that step-by-step process to take you from a product idea all the way to success on Amazon, check out the link description below where I literally break down the process step-by-step, leading you through the exact process I use to launch every single one of my products. If you guys are looking for the exact step-by-step process on how you can replicate my exact same success, everything from idea to launch on Amazon, check out the link below. But until next time, guys, I'll see you on the next video and let's go crush it in 2020 on Amazon.